are excited about.
Mhm.
And so we wanted to make sure that we got this to you, um, and did it in a timely fashion. So we are live 24 hours earlier. We hope everybody's doing well, and let us know how you're doing in the comments, whether you're live with us or watching it back. Um, Before we jump into our topic, I have a question. I was going to ask you this. I want to know if our viewers have any suggestions too.
Mm.
So, I'm a relatively new owner of a PlayStation 5,
Mm.
and I've been, for no reason other than my own entertainment, wrapping up NBA 2K23 on my PlayStation 4. Okay.
Mm. Mhm.
Um, but the more I've played it, the more it's annoyed me. And just like there are certain things that are incredible, like how it recreates an actual NBA broadcast, both with announcing the angles and the cuts.
Mhm.
It's very impressive from that standpoint. But there are certain things like, for example, LeBron. My players on the Lakers,
Mhm.
and LeBron averaged 19 points a game this year, which is not in on the for the game. Sorry, in real life, he averaged
Yeah.
much more than that. And the thing about it is, when I'm playing on the floor with him, he makes the stupidest movements. And I'm playing on all pro. I'm not playing like rookie or the pro level.
Yeah.
I'm playing all pro. And he can't hit the broadside of a barn. But as soon as I'm on a bench, or on the bench, and you can sim until you're back on the court, he just starts hitting, just stuff like that, right? I'm like, it just takes away from the game.
Mhm.
So I have 2K24. I'm not sure how that's going to play out on PS5. I'm sure it'll be better, but I don't know to what extent. Um,
Mhm.
and then Gran Turismo is awesome, but you don't always want to play Gran Turismo necessarily.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um, so, what suggestions would you have for me to add to the collection?
Oh man. That's a that's a that's a scary topic, man, because
I know.
I've got plenty, man. I'm always working on games. It all just depends on the genre that you're looking for,
Mhm.
honestly.
Mm.
Um
Jensen and
Me?
I both talked. We were a little underwhelmed by the look of the new Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, very
Um,
much so.
and there was one guy that I, again, just have seen sporadically on TikTok who streamed it, and he beat it in like 3 days, which wasn't a resounding review in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, it all depends on what you're going for. If you want a really good story, the God of War series, you don't even have to get like you don't have to go back to like the very early ones, like that were on PlayStation 2. Um, but just doing the ones that are for PS5 and PS4, I think those are great. So God of War 1 and 2, great
Mhm.
games. Amazing games. I just finished God of War 2, a few months back. Amazing story, really good gameplay, tons of hours that you can jump into it. And you know, well worth the playthrough.
Yeah.
Um, Let me think. If you don't want to, if God of War is not your speed, right? That's more of like a single player adventure game. If you want another single player game, there is what I'm playing, Cyberpunk 2077. That's a
Yeah.
really fun game.
Thought
Um,
about that. I
yeah,
thought about that. What was the
first
one?
person shooter there.
Right. What and this is Fallout. I was thinking about Fallout too,
Hmm.
or
That
as well.
Yeah, no, Fallout and Cyberpunk are kind of in that same vein, kind of that RPG field.
Mhm.
Um, both really good. Fallout 4, great game.
Mhm.
Really fun to play. Both me and Tyler have played that you know, going through the whole storyline again and again. And it's kind of cool because if you go back to Fallout 4, um, they introduced to where you can do like mods and stuff. So
Okay.
You can mod the game to make it like a little bit better and cooler and stuff like that. So, um, always worth a play. A plus, I think if you have PlayStation Plus and some other stuff, you might be able to get Fallout 4 for free, which is really cool.
Nice.
Same with God of War. Um, let's think. Let's think.
Another one I
Um,
was considering, which I know it's several years old,
mhm.
but it was PS4. No, it was PS3, I think. Anyway, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was Red Dead Redemption 2 or
That was 4.
3
Oh yeah, it was 3.
3.
Yeah,
I think that
but it
one
looks like.
is. Or so go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, it looks like it's been an incredible game. I mean, people still love it. You
Yeah,
know.
no, yeah, exactly. If you love a good Western game, also, something akin to like the Grand Theft Auto of Westerns,
Yeah,
that's perfect for you.
but a more interactive world too. It seems like. I mean,
Yes.
I saw this funny video earlier of this guy who you had to meet up with this girl in a basically it's a saloon
Mm-hmm.
and talk to her. And it was like for your next mission. But this
Mm-hmm.
dude, I didn't know you could do this in this game. But he's galloping full speed with his horse,
Mm-hmm.
collides with the building, and it shoots him through the glass into
Oh
the
my
building.
gosh.
But then it just picked up the story campaign. He goes, "Hello, Charlotte." It made it funny. I was, but
It's
it was cool.
hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. But it was cool too because I was like, "Oh man, you can interact with the world to that degree." You know, like
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So
Yeah,
yeah, I would do that. I will say that I have not played that game. Um, just never got around to it, honestly.
sure.
Um, but I did enjoy Red Dead Redemption 2. So I think you would really enjoy Red Dead Redemption 3. Um,
Oh, is there
the,
3? Because I was talking about 2.
well, so 2 is because there's technically it's red. Is it 1, 2? I can't remember
Yeah,
anymore.
there's only 1 and 2, I believe.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
3 is in the
Okay.
works. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I was just thinking of something different. So yeah, that's what it was. Red Dead Revolver. Got it. Because
Oh, yeah.
technically in the series, it's Red Dead Revolver, then Red Dead Redemption, then Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, I guess if you're going storyline wise, I think it's technically going to be Red Dead Redemption 2, then Red Dead Redemption,
Yeah,
or Red Dead Revolver, and then Red Dead Redemption, and then yeah.
gotcha.
Anyway, good
Definitely.
game.
Yeah, so
Check it out.
2
I think it's
2
worth it.
just came out in 2018 on the PS4, so it's not too old of a game.
No, no, no,
Um,
not at all. Well worth it. Plus, you'll get enhancements from playing it on the PS5.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. Sweet. Well, this is
yeah,
good,
some
good
good
stuff.
ones. They're
Good
good
ideas.
ones.
Yeah,
Also, if you wanted to just have a nice, good first-person multiplayer shooter game, um, any of the Call of Duty games or the Battlefield games are super fun,
sure.
enjoyable.
Mhm.
If you like arcade fighting style kind of games, like you can have Batman Arkham Knights. That's really fun for multiplayer because you get like a co-op campaign deal, so you can play with your friends.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Um,
a good idea.
yeah. But anyway,
You know, I I've always been this way. Like I have the more sim games on my PlayStations.
hmm
I get like Legend of Zelda on a Nintendo. But I don't have a Switch or anything. Um I'm not fully sure I want to. Haven't picked up where I left off running through Wind Waker and Twilight Princess again, so I got got to
mm-hmm.
run through those before I go over to the new stuff, um but yeah, so anyway, yeah, it was good advice. We would
Yeah,
love
man.
to hear what your thoughts are in the comments as well,
Yeah.
whether you're live with us or watching it back later.
hmm
But with that said, we are going to switch from talking about technology creating and emulating imaginary people and transition to a conversation about technology emulating and creating something based off of a real person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Denison opened my eyes to this tonight. It's kind of a weird. It's very weird. It's not kind of weird. Um, in my opinion, we want to know what you guys think. But Meta, the owner of Facebook and Instagram, has basically licensed the rights to real people like Dwayne Wade, Tom Brady. Who else do we see? Why do I
Mr.
always forget?
Beast,
Mr. Beast.
Paris Hilton, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was I forgot what her name is, but
Charlie
it's
D'Amelio.
uh or yeah, Charlie D'Amelio.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also like a tennis player in there.
Yeah,
So yeah, some really interesting figures,
but it's
very
all AI.
prominent figures.
It's all AI except Denison and I aren't sure about some of the videos, and we'll show all of this to you on the live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you'll hear it on the. Why? Yeah, I think we can make that happen, or hear it on the recording too. But but yeah, it's so strange because basically we aren't sure if the videos are the real person or not.
Mm-hmm.
But then the AI will go off and create images and posts that are completely fake. Now there's a emblem at the bottom that lets you know it's AI generated, but it will say stuff like take what was the first person we were looking at? Oh, it was
You were
supposed to be yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was supposed to be like Kendall Jenner basically. And
Mm-hmm.
it created this image where it looked like she was on the set of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
For video, for film, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why? Why are we doing this? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So strange. So um yeah, we have a lot we want to talk about. And I say we go ahead and get into it, man.
Yeah, I say so too, man.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? I'm John,
And I'm Denison.
and this is the catch up. That's right. We got a lot to jump into today. And before we do, I want to remind you guys the 3 best ways to support this show. I'm going to count properly with my hands this time. Number 1, we got 2 ones going. Number 1, leave a rating and review wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching. It's the easiest way that you can support this show. Let us know what you think of it. That helps us out a lot. If you like us, that really helps us out. If there's something you see we can improve on, that helps us out. And it gets us in front of more potential viewers and listeners as well. Number 2, that's actually 3 in French. So number 2, oh my, there we go. There it is. Yeah, number 2, uh, follow us on Facebook and YouTube. If you're not on the live stream with us right now, jump on, subscribe. We go live every Thursday night, except for tonight because we're live on Wednesday. And we want this two-way conversation with each of our, every single one of our topics that we discuss. We want to know what you are thinking about it, and it helps you get involved and direct the show in real time. We love to have that. We love to have that interaction. So please jump on these live streams with us. We'd love to know what your thoughts are as we share ours. And number 3, thank you for those who don't know. And that's me being able to count to 3 in ASL. Let us challenge you. If you want to support us monetarily, check out the link wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching. We have a whole shop of things that will keep you looking clean and looking warm this winter and fall. As fall sets in, we got tons of long sleeves, hoodies, beanies, hats, um, and some shirts and a mug and two mugs actually. One mug, two mug. I think two. I'll have to double check the inventory on that. Anyway, you know what? You know what, man? I gotta reel these people in, man. I gotta show you guys.
Real 'em
You haven't
in.
checked this out.
Real 'em in. Let them see. Let them see that coziness.
That's on them, man.
Exactly.
If they don't
I
know by
gotta.
now,
I know they should know, but
that's what I'm saying. All
they
right,
gotta
hold
see
up.
the coziness.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, hold up. Where's our listings? All right, here we go. Let me share this page.
Let me see it.
It's just so y'all get a good, clean look right now.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, check it out. All right, here we go.
There it
There's your
is.
hat.
Look at that.
Look at that hat. All them colors too.
Mm-hmm.
Get you a
That's
red one.
a clean hat right there.
That blue one's clean. That
Mm-hmm.
white one, mad clean.
Mm-hmm. That black
All right,
one though.
that black one's mad clean too. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
scroll back. Shirt, hoodie, beanie. Ignore that. um, okay, thank you. This beanie, this long sleeve. I love this long sleeve.
It's a pretty dope long sleeve, I gotta say.
Now I do have to recalibrate colors, but right now it doesn't. I will say it doesn't look like it renders well in this image when you do
Yeah.
white, but trust me, it looks great. You put
It
glue
looks
on there,
pretty clean.
yeah, mad clean. um, uh, let's see. So there's your phone cases.
Mm-hmm.
There's your mug. There's a gator if you're wanting to breathe well, and not get COVID.
Exactly.
This was a idea from somebody I used to know, just
Mm-hmm.
like that song. But it's a cartoon version of the cover of the podcast, and I love it. So anyway, that's a good, cool. That shirt is actually really nice too.
It is.
Um,
Very comfy.
yeah. So, and this thing, this mug is not just your average mug,
It is
although it
not.
doesn't really show that, does it?
No, sadly not. We might need to get some video of it.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty neat mug. You can kind of see a little bit of like what it would be.
Mm-hmm.
It's a color changing mug, man.
Yeah.
It's black when you first get it, and then you put a hot beverage in there.
Opens
Um,
right up.
exactly.
So
Turns
what
nice
you
and white.
see, yeah. So what you see here and here, it would be the entire mug. And so then when you
Mm-hmm.
warm it up, it unveils the logo on the front, which is very cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
stealth merch right there. Stealth
So
merchandise.
some good clean stealth merch, man. That's what I'm saying. So I had to show the people that we talk about all the time. I've never been like, hey, this is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some other stuff that we could add in there as well. So let us know what you think of the shop. Check it out. It's linked, like I said, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching. So with that said, man, let's roll deeper into this topic. Um, and man, you want to take us? You want to
Yeah,
take
of
us?
course. Of
All
course. I'll
right.
take you on the ride. Um so yeah, there was a report that came out a day ago or so. A few days ago, I think. Where it was talking about Meta in the process of releasing some AI, some new AI um assistants. But what their hook is, as opposed to like what we've already gotten from like Bard and Bing and ChatGPT, is that you get to use these AI assistants as though you're kind of talking to their real life counterparts, right? So, what Meta did was the report says that essentially they approached multiple different famous creators um, and offered and asked if they could use their likeness for their AIs, um, for a certain sum of money, right? Um, this report shows that one of the creators, an unknown one, we don't know, was paid about $5 million. But apparently, uh, originally Meta was going to offer this person 1 million, but essentially went upwards. So if we can, so one, the report just says there was a top creator. We don't know exactly what that means. We don't know who that could be. um, but I would imagine if this is a creator, so like some sort of a YouTuber or something like that, because they do have, you know what? Let me go ahead and just talk about some of the people that they rounded up in this, in this AI pursuit, right?
Let me throw. You want me to start throwing out some names?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, throw them out there, man.
Okay, so again, and first of all, Darian, thank you for the notification, gang, bro. Always
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it. Yeah, so like we had mentioned Dwayne Wade, um, Kendall Jenner, Tom Brady, Charlie D'Amelio,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind
Mr.
of a younger
Beast.
model. Yeah, Mr. Beast, Dennison, and I believe Paris Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird because from the side it looked like Megan Trainor.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so it's a little vague on that one. That was a little bit harder. Another face that is on there, and we didn't get the chance to talk about it, was uh Snoop Dogg
Yes.
is on there, which is really interesting. Um and then a couple of, there's an MMA fighter, I forgot what his name is. If you remember the show Even Stevens, the dad from Even Stevens is on there.
What?
Yeah,
Dude, that's such a 90s kid appeal. Oh my goodness.
I know.
It's so weird. So to further explain that too, what Meta has done is they've reached out to these people and paid them for their likeness
Yep.
just so they can have this AI version of them. Now the name doesn't represent them, but their personality does, not just their looks. And that's what's weird about the videos, which I know we'll show you some, but it makes you wonder because everything that's been generated by AI on these profiles clearly shows it. It will have a watermark on there
Mm-hmm.
that says so, but the videos don't. And that's equally easy to put on videos as it is photos. Um, but when you see like this, probably the most confounding one to me was Tom Brady. There was one with Charlie D'Amelio that we watched where it showed her getting ready for her day.
Mm-hmm.
The movements were too fluid um, to at where AI is at this point. Believe it was AI. Uh,
Exactly. They weren't weird enough.
yeah, but Tom Brady, it was right in between. I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm. I
So weird.
still feel like it was fake, or not fake, but a real video, like with actual Tom Brady, and they're just using his profile. But yeah, I mean, you're right though. Like it's hard to distinguish like real versus fake. So it's really interesting. Um, one thing to note too is that this unknown person, right, who essentially leaked a lot of this information, um, said that they were in a studio with Meta people for like 6 hours, and they got paid $5 million for it,
Mm,
right?
mhm.
So it's kind of interesting. It's kind of crazy. Honestly, for me, I feel like $5 million is a little too cheap. Um,
Oh well, yeah, I agree. I think we have to get into why that is, though. You know,
yeah, yeah.
um,
And or sorry, go ahead.
no, I mean, and we will. I don't know if we need to do it off the top, but I think just even that. I know that sounds crazy, right? Like all of us would love to have $5 million,
Mm-hmm.
but now let's just go ahead and get into it because what I want to know from you people on the stream right now is, um, uh, you people, our viewers. I want to know. I want to know from our viewers what they think about this just off the top, right? Because to me, to be scrolling through Instagram or well, I mean, that'd probably be the most likely situation right now since this is owned by Meta.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm scrolling through Instagram and a reel pops up of a fake character that's supposed to be like a real person, why? What value is that adding me? Um, I mean, only people that are really into AI art um, and AI media, which I think is a niche part of the population, you know,
Mm-hmm.
niche in the way of they like it that much, I think is weird and uncommon. Um, yeah, it's very bizarre to me. So I'd love to know what our viewers think about this. For the $5 million, the thing about this is this was, from what I remember you saying, a 2-year contract, right?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. It's 2 year
So
contract to have their likeness.
right. So they're going to use this to train their AI, and eventually it's going to be completely gone. Um, these characters will, and then
Mm-hmm.
they'll just have original AI characters that you interact with on social media. This is already picking up. You know, I'm a huge fan of the show Loki. Um, it just came back on. If you're on Instagram right now, you could message an AI chatbot that's acting like Miss Minutes from the show, if any of you are familiar with that. And that's more fun. That's more of an engagement kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's also marketing. And that was a part of this that Dennison brought up too, that he thinks will play right into the purpose of these, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Um. Yeah. So I mean, one, I also wanted to give credit where credit's due. This idea wasn't wholly me. It was my fiance actually suggested that we cover this topic because it's really it's really interesting, honestly, to think that we're at this point, right? Because it's funny because earlier this year we watched a movie, not a movie, but an episode from Black Mirror, the show Black Mirror,
Yeah,
where they were already talking about something like this, right?
really.
Where it
Okay.
was, yeah, where it was essentially uh Netflix, right? Or a amalgamation of Netflix, right? And the Black Mirror universe
Yeah.
was by you subscribing to this service and agreeing to their, privacy policy or whatever like that.
Mhm.
Um, you, or the terms and conditions, I should really say, you gave away your likeness to them to create content. And so in this one show, essentially they were following this one character and creating content off of their life. Um and it was really interesting and just kind of went through a whole deal. Um and like it would rope in celebrities and use like AI created versions of those celebrities to act out scenes of this one person's life.
Yeah.
Um and it was all because this one celebrity said, "Yeah, sure, I'll sign over rights so that you can do that because they paid me like, $100 million or something like that." Something crazy, but they had like their likeness forever that they could use however they want. And so it's really interesting to see this kind of coming true, um only really in truth like a few months later after that episode came out,
Right.
that Meta is doing something similar to it. Of course it's a little bit different, but it's in the same vein. And the reason why I said earlier that I think $5 million is too cheap for 2 years is that, and I'm sure there's other creators that they, or other celebrities, creators that they paid more than this one person, right? So we only have this as a benchmark for our understanding exactly where they might fall. We at least know the base level was $1 million, so we can extrapolate from there. But um, I think the biggest thing about it is that you now allow Meta. to one, use your AI assistant to talk to millions and millions of people. And in some ways, sure, a lot of these AIs, and I'm going to pull these up in just a moment, but a lot of these AIs um, won't or don't have the same names as the people that they're modeled off of, right? But they do have they're essentially acting like this person, right? I
Yep.
saw a video of someone who's in the early access program, because all of this is early access, right? It's not something that we have actually access to right now. It's something that they're going to release later on this year, I think, early next year.
Okay.
Um but even like when you're chatting in that video, when they were chatting with this person, with this AI, right? It was showing like a little picture of that person while they were chatting with them. And they were making faces and like, kind of bobbing around and stuff. And
Sure.
so it's, you have these people who may create these deep bonds, parasocial relationships with these AIs. And in some ways, they're really in some ways creating these parasocial relationships, which we already have an issue with in general with these actual celebrities, that I feel like the lines start getting blurry. And so $5 million is way too cheap for the amount of money that Facebook in general is going to gain just
Oh,
from users using these applications, not even getting outside of the realm of like users um maybe backlash or screenshotting saying like, look what this person said to me, or look what Kendall Jenner just told me, when it's
mm,
the AI assistant and whatever like that. But they're going to be like, well, look what this person did or whatever like that, and the
yeah.
backlash that they're going to have to deal with. um it's just one of those things where it's like, I just feel like $5 million is too cheap, honestly.
I
um
know. Well, I have to say, in the way of a couple of these people that signed up for this, I'm kind of disappointed with them,
yeah.
because there's such a slippery slope, and all they're seeing is the bottom line, you know.
Hmm.
Um,
Instant cash for
yeah,
6 hours worth of work, at least from what I can tell, right?
yeah. Well, and the argument Denison made too is that, by interacting with these people or these AI, it's only going to increase the efficiency of Meta's AI, and
Hmm.
then could even lead to a world where um, we're not even on social media. It's our AI doing our branding for us.
Yeah.
Um, I mean that I don't know, man. I don't want to sound like I'm outside of the lines, or I'm not for this kind of crap. Whatever, I'm not. But it just makes me wonder if that is the thing that's the death of social media. You know what I'm saying?
I could
Um,
see that. I could see
yeah,
that.
because social media is literally, man, I don't know. This is just such a bizarre story.
Yeah.
Because
No, it is. It's kind of like a Black Mirror episode.
it
Um,
really is, because social media is meant for people to connect. That's why it's social media. You know what I mean? And if you're going on there and just ingesting content from artificial intelligence, that's so strange. It makes me wonder how long this will last. But I will say too, speaking of Black Mirror episodes, I haven't watched that show for a few years, but one I remember very well is there was an entire dating meetup, right?
oh yeah.
And it was like based on online dating and all this kind of stuff. But what you found out was the whole thing that you just watched was actually just two AI acting out what it would be like if those two people dated, because they paid for that on their dating app.
Which is crazy.
Right. But it doesn't seem far fetched with the direction if this were to take off, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Like, yeah, it's perfectly easy to tell that that could be something, um, that could happen. I mean, we've already, in some ways, with some of these assistants that we're already seeing right now. there's a kind of doomsday scenario where our world could become a point to where, like, think about it right now, right? We already have an AI that can essentially summarize what is in an email, right? Give me the bullet points of that email, right? And then you also could use that same AI to, okay, cool, based on this, this is how I would respond, write me a response. So now it's going to write you a nice professional response. And so we could have a point to where essentially people are interacting with AI. Like there's just an exchange of emails and flowing of information. And all it's doing is an AI talking to another AI, extrapolating that out so that way people can look at it and then text it, essentially putting it all back together and shipping it back off to another AI to do the exact same thing. And so
Right.
it's like decoupling that human interaction. Um, and so I can easily see something similar to that, especially since there was a Meta has already kind of talked about plans of being able to do something similar to this for their own user base, giving
Mhm.
people access to do something similar to this to create a avatar of sorts, of yourself, for people to interact with. I think that was one of their things that they wanted to try and do, in the next coming, months or so,
Sure.
or years or so.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a fan of that. I mean, if that's the thing that puts me off Facebook and Instagram, then that's what it is. I, I think that would still be a severe reaction to it, but also I, with the way that TikTok's pushing products every other post, I don't know, man. We're all gonna go broke apparently. But with that said, no, I think yeah, as you guys can probably tell, if you guys have listened to the show for any length of time, I'm thrown off by this. It's very
Yeah.
strange. I know. I think yeah, we should take a look at least one of these. Dennison has pulled up here the Kylie or Kendall Jenner.
Yes. Yes,
Yours,
exactly.
your sis Billy,
Mhm,
which
mhm,
is
and then or go ahead.
marketing, and I want to credit you again for mentioning how the goal of this is to sell product, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like,
Because
it's oop, it or sorry, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say because your sis Billy obviously references Billie Eilish, and combining Billie Eilish and a Kendall Jenner, I mean, that's an effort to appeal to a demographic, right?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and, I think in truth, this is it's a it's a great I think if this works out really well for Meta, this is an amazing pivot for them. The reason why I say that is because, Meta got burned pretty badly with, the metaverse stuff, right? They really tried for it and just didn't work out for them, sadly. But if they do this, it, we already know that Meta tries to absorb as much of your data as possible, right?
Mhm.
But there's certain data that they just can't get, or at least they can't legally get. Um, but these AI, as you can see here, message me to get started, right? All of this is just like talking to these AI. And
Right.
the video that I watched of this person interacting with this AI was really trying to get them to consistently conversate and talk to them. Even when they said, "All right, goodbye," the AI was like, "Come on, come back so we can keep on talking." This is an amazing way for Meta to get detailed personal information, from these users and build whole new profiles that they could never do before for advertisers, for their own stuff, all sorts of other stuff, learning how people tick and stuff like that. You can get so much more detailed information than you could beforehand. And so that I think that's one of the biggest things that this could propel Meta into like the stratosphere, especially when it comes to like monetization of user owned content, right?
Mhm.
Content that's coming from the users that they're grabbing from their information and stuff. But let's jump into this really quick little
Right.
short
Well,
video thing.
and I want to say too that agree with you wholeheartedly. I think it's a great perspective. I think it's very dehumanizing, um, and just weird. But yes, this is an example of what we were talking about. This is a whole scene of what cookies and candles and rain. Start of fall calls for baking and restarting Gilmore Girls. Dot dot dot. Again, imagine with AI, you can see the watermark there in the bottom left. It's just weird, right?
Yeah.
There's the set that we were referencing earlier. Um,
Mm-hmm.
PR girly by day, advice giver by night. Um, top comment says Billie Eilish is gonna sue.
Yeah. Yeah. And so yeah, it's just kind of interesting because yeah, you've got these AI generated photos and stuff like that. Um and it's all very well curated. It looks real. So it's really interesting to see all of this. But let's jump to that video real quick here.
Right. Something Dennis and I are not sure if it's AI or not.
Yeah, yeah, which I feel like it isn't because well, I'll just let you guys check it out.
Billy. I just want to introduce myself. I am here to chat whenever you want. Message me for any advice. I am ready to talk, and I hope to talk to you soon. Hey guys, it's Billy.
So there's some part of that where like everything is so perfect that makes it look fake.
Mm-hmm.
But also that's typically not the case with AI. There's usually some obvious, issue. Like look at her neck bone, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing
I
that's
mean,
jutting out.
I feel like that's normal.
You think so?
Yeah, that's like a normal, like, you got like a vein or whatever like that you got going or whatever, neck
Right.
bone, whatever. So I think that's real. I
That's
f-
true. I mean, I don't
I
stare at neck
feel like
bones
yeah,
much.
I feel like this is a real photo here
Well, and that's a good
and no
point too, because it
marker.
doesn't, yeah, no watermark. And it doesn't have the hashtag in it.
Exactly. See? So I feel like um these are real, right? Because yeah, look at that. Imagined with AI on all of them other than this one and
Hey guys, it's
let me get rid of that. And this one. So
Yep.
this tells me that this is the actual, Kendall Jenner or whatever like that who did this. This is probably part of that, that 6 hours of being in the studio. um
Yeah.
type of deal here. Um
Dude, literally one of those comments says that is the top comment. It says this is Black Mirror season 6, episode 1.
yeah, exactly.
It's funny.
And so yeah, that was kind of one of the big things here that I was kind of really interested in. Um so yeah.
Yeah.
So and it's interesting because like I said, these AI they've got their AI friends here. Now, of course, that's a real person
Right.
there. But all the AI friends are following each other, which is really interesting. But yeah, so you've got this cook with Max, right? You've got Max, you've got Amber here, which is this is the one that we think is Paris Hilton,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um Amber the detective. You've got Game On with Brew or Game
No.
On Brew. So this is
Brew.
exactly this is Tom Brady right here, essentially Tom Brady's likeness.
Yep.
Again, this is another one of those where I believe it's just, image, image, image. This is just him, right? Look at that. You can see it's filmed on the same day, same clothes. Makes sense,
Right.
right? Um,
Hi, I'm Tom Brady.
exactly. Hi, I'm Tom
And
Brady. I'm
retirement.
doing stuff.
Me?
So,
I'm Brew. And if you're looking to talk sports, you come to the right place.
see?
It
And then, oh, so go ahead.
No, it feels very Tom Brady. It really
Yeah,
does.
exactly. Exactly. So it also looks like he's reading a teleprompter. But
But you can see, right? Yeah, it does. You can see those comments though, man. Like most people are freaked out by it. Other people are just making jokes about it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I mean, because it is kind of creepy. Um, Ye because yeah, you've got these AIs coming in, and it does make you wonder, like, how, like you were talking about before, like how long is it before we start having like full on like real people, or not real people, but yeah, or I guess yeah, real people getting replaced by AI on social media platforms.
Right. Well, and and this was one of my big concerns too is um I think about things like the upcoming election, but even take right now, right? If we took this technology and replicated Benjamin Netanyahu, right, with what's going on in Israel
Hmm.
right now, think of think of the issues, you know.
Hmm.
And it's not like it's uncommon for Meta to be hacked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're right.
So I don't know. I think of those broader things rather than just what this means for an account I don't have to follow. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, but most of these don't have too many followers. That's the interesting thing about it. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, you're right. The only ones, so that is interesting that this the this one actually isn't following all of its other AI friends, but the other ones are. Um
The
let me see if I
the
can go
Kendall
back.
Jenner one has 100,000 followers, but the rest of them are a lot lower. You know?
Yeah, no, you're right. And the Kendall Jenner one, I that's their bread and butter, right? That's going to be the one. Most likely, they didn't pay Kendall Jenner, $5 million. They probably paid her quite a bit more.
Right.
Um,
Right.
some of these other people, I can see that for, but Kendall Jenner is the one that I'm pretty darn sure is going to like bring in most of the people, right? So this is the uh I believe like the Charlie D'Amelio one.
Yeah.
And actually this is the reason why I said we were talking about this before we got on air, but that I was saying like, yeah, I believe this is probably an AI image and not a real person. Of course, it's got that little tag there, but this was also what I used to say, like, yeah, these are real people, are
Mm-hmm.
like real videos with real people, and these are just like actual, and they're not actually creating videos because one of the telltale signs I've always found with AI and AI images is that it's everything's just ever so slightly not correct,
Sure.
right? So at first glance, really quickly, this looks fine. But see, some of the joints get kind of weird if you start to zoom in, and the hands AI don't do well with hands. I mean, we saw this when we were playing with Dolly,
Yep.
Dolly 3, yes, last a few episodes back, I believe.
Yep. Mhm.
Um, it does weird stuff with hands, right? And this is not bad. It's not bad at all, right? But there are some weirdnesses with the hands. Joints are a little weird. Like, look at this. You've got your foot here, but that looks like your knee.
Mhm.
That's kind of weird. That doesn't work. And then if you go out, zoom out into this one, like that looks a little strange too. So you can tell what is and isn't created by it. But I will say that most of these are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Um,
That bottom right one, that that reel on the bottom right.
this one,
Yeah. What's that look like?
let's see.
Coco here, and one of the most important things about being a dancer is keeping your body healthy. And the best way to do that is going
It
to be
does seem
making
like
sure
it's
you have a proper stretch
yeah.
and warm up. This is one of the most fundamental parts of every dancer's career, and a lot of us overlook it. So let's get right into it. This is really a back
Oh
stretch, so you want to
yeah.
make sure.
With the jump cuts.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly. So
that's not AI.
yeah, exactly. That's a real person. And again, we can go back to the hands. You can go back to some of the other stuff. Um, Usually if it's a AI, right? You're going to see weird stuff like hands or artifacting in weird places and stuff like that. They're
The
probably gonna get the
reflection.
reflections as well either. So
Yeah.
these are for sure. Um, these are for sure like actual videos that they did. But
Which is also even weirder because why? Why are they trying to blur the lines between what's AI and what's not?
because you have to make these, they're trying to make these AI personas very lifelike, right? As lifelike as possible. Because the thing is, most of the time that people are going to be interacting with these AI is going to be through their little chat feature that they have. Because if I'm not mistaken, um I think it's follow, or oh yeah, it's something similar to like, you can see it on the app. They don't have it here, but there's a spot where you can essentially click on it or whatever like that, and you can chat with that one, or you can start the process of like, you know, messaging this AI or something like that. I think since I've already opted in, it won't show anymore,
Sure.
um but yeah, you would do that. You would, most people are going to interact with them by just chatting with them. So um these posts are very important, right? And so I'm sure they did multiple videos with these celebrities, um to do different videos, multiple different videos and different, you know, avenues, and they're going to slowly churn them out over, you know, the next year, 2 years or whatever like that, to really keep those lines blurred and really get people to really pull in, right?
Yeah.
Because sure, I think the initial reaction, just like a lot of things, is going to be disgust and fear. But as we get deeper down the rabbit hole and as it becomes something more and more like um more and more prevalent, you're gonna start seeing um you're gonna start seeing more and more people um like interacting with these
Yeah.
AI and actually using them.
This is the most Snoop Dogg thing I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Here we go.
ready to play.
What the hell?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I've gone
It's no Ready Player One. I'm not doing Ready Player One with the
was
hawk looking Snoop Dogg.
yeah, I will say like it's interesting because yeah, some of them that I've seen are, you can kind of tell who phoned it in and who didn't. Um,
Yeah. He
'cause-
just want that money. He was like, I don't care.
exactly. He's like, oh, oh please, I'll take it. It's fine.
Hey, can you do me a favor real quick though?
Of course.
Could you hit and stay on that
This one?
learn more? No.
Oh,
On the
sorry.
learn more section.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you should know, AI character profiles are managed by Meta. Content posted may be generated by both human and AI tools. So that basically
Mm.
confirms what we were talking about. I thought I
Yeah.
saw that. So some of it's video, or well, the video we've seen, we feel very confident is actually those people.
Yep.
Maybe face manipulated a little bit to look a little like their AI counterpart,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, chat with them directly, use Instagram Direct, and then it tells you what generative AI is. But
Mm-hmm.
so okay, my next question with this, I mean, do you think this works? Do you think this lasts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this works. I think this works. Honestly, um, as much as I would love to say this isn't gonna work, this isn't gonna do well, I have a really, really hard time believing that um it's not. That it's gonna be really terrible, that it's not gonna work, it's not gonna do well. I think these AI, like I said, they're going to be met with disgust at first, and then they're going to really jump into popularity. Similar to how ChatGPT, well, I don't know, ChatGPT was a little bit different, but it didn't have a face with it. But I think
Sure.
this is going to be very lucrative for Meta. Um,
But, but what do you think is the thing about it that um that would entice people to interact with these things?
it's the personalities. It's the fact that, like, we can already see it, right, with Billy. We can already see it with Billy, right? We're gonna go back to her page really quickly. Look, 100 million or 100,000 followers already, right?
Mhm.
Um, a lot of people want to speak, or not speak, but a lot of people already have these weird parasocial relationships with these stars.
Yeah,
Um,
right. And this is the
this
closest they're ever going to get to talking to them.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. And so this is going to amplify it even more, right? Um, Bad publicity or not, this is going to be people's way to interact with and create an even stronger parasocial relationship with this person. Because most people, right, especially if we're looking at this profile and how it's set up, most people are not going to say, I was talking to Kylie Jenner's, um, Kendall Jenner's, my bad,
Yeah.
get them all mixed up. Um, but um I am not going to I'm not speaking to Kendall Jenner's AI. I'm speaking to Kendall Jenner, right?
Right.
Same with, Dwayne Wade, same with Mr. Beast, same with Snoop Dogg, same with all of these people. I am now communicating with this person. That
Sure.
is a strong feeling. And if they can nail it down to where they have these AIs feel human enough, which I think anybody who has really, really played with ChatGPT and Bing and some of these others,
Hmm.
if you're just doing like regular conversation and not actively trying to make things weird, they do a really good job
Yeah,
of making you feel like there's another person on on the other end of that.
for sure. And I think, and bear with me, guys, please don't unfollow. I think that's a very, I think that's a very American approach.
Mm,
I think it's something that would work more in America than in other places. But I also think that it would be people like a Kendall Jenner, or which obviously she's not down with it because this would already be live. But if Taylor Swift had done this, right,
oh yeah.
that would draw attention to it. I think it's that kind of a demographic as well. And I completely agree with it. Um, yeah, I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to touch on, but I think my concerns I've relayed multiple times in this. I don't like the idea. I think it's very dehumanizing. I
Hmm.
don't understand the appeal. If anything, it's just going to lead us to more of this type of world where all you have are AI interactions on behalf of people, um, and then more targeted advertising than you've ever seen in your life. You know,
Yeah,
uh,
exactly. I feel the exact same way. I feel like this is really just it's opening up the floodgates to um a type of content that we never would have thought existed beforehand.
yeah,
Um and I think that is the scary part. It's something that it's so aggressive and at the same time so subtle that it
yeah.
can become a really big problem very quickly without us even noting knowing.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I think people know that if you've watched us long enough, you know we always try to find a positive light. Um, I can't do that. I can't do it right now. I just can't. I hate everything about this. I'm gonna pretend that we never talked about it.
I mean,
But
okay, I'll say this too to end it on a positive note. Um, I think the good thing about this is that it makes it so this is another way to speed up the AI to become better. Um,
Sure.
better, less out of this strange uncanny valley thing that we're seeing now, but to be better assistance, better um better help for us for different tasks. One of the best things that I can see that can come out of this is for people who are feeling lonely.
Hmm.
These tools, something similar to that, are amazing tools for that, right?
Yeah.
For people who are struggling with social anxiety, struggling with all sorts of different types of social disorders or whatever like that, or just aren't able to see people that much. Having AI that are good enough to be able to keep up conversations and make you feel wanted and make you feel special is very important. And I think it's something that we all have or don't understand or don't think about. I
Yeah.
think these types of AI are great, can be great uh, for those purposes, to keep people out of those dark places that they fall into, especially if you're thinking about like some of the older people. I I've heard too many stories of older people who feel incredibly depressed and feel left behind and not being able to see like and talk to people as much as they would love to, and they just want to talk to somebody, right?
Hmm.
And this gives them that outlet to be able to say like, cool, here, let's talk about this, let's talk about that, let's keep this conversation going. Sure, there is a nefarious purpose in the background, but if this is something that helps them, keeps them out of that dark place, I say all power to it.
I think that's a great perspective. And that's a great way to wrap it up with that positivity as well. And while you were saying that, I did notice with this particular profile, the idea is life coaching, but life coaching through AI.
Hmm.
Uh, it's an interesting approach. I'm a big fan of the idea of life coaches. I've never worked with one, but I like that idea as a career. Obviously, mixed feelings about AI trying to take away from the people who make that career.
Hmm.
Uh, but that would be an approach that I could see value to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Uh,
you're right.
yeah, it's interesting. Okay. Well, I think we had a good discussion on this. And thank you guys for jumping on the live stream with us. It's always a good time, and we always appreciate it. I want to remind you guys real quick. Number one, leave us a rating review wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching. It helps us out. It helps us continue to grow as well. Number two, subscribe if you're on the live stream with us. Follow us and jump in the comments in real time. Or even if you're rewatching it, let us know your thoughts. We have a lot of thoughts that we shared in this one, and we want to hear yours. And number three, if you want to support us monetarily, there it is. There's your third reminder. um, the, let's check out our shop. We got some really cool stuff going on in the shop that will keep you warm and looking good through the winter. Dang, come on, man. Aaron jumping in the comments saying, "Go to bed. Good night, guys." That's exactly what's about to happen, man. Hope
Exactly.
you're doing well. Good to hear from you. And would love to catch up more soon. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch up with you next week.